Hi everyone, it's me Trish. How's everyone doing? So I just wanted to get on here and say a few things before we go into this video. It took me a little bit to get this out because I just had so many things that I wanted to make videos about, and so I'm gonna squeeze this in, and this is my final video from when I went to the Nubo Market. I appreciate everybody who has watched these videos. It was such a fun experience for me, and I just wanted to really highlight these kind of places. I'm sure every state must have something similar to this, to our Nubo Market, where it's got all these different little businesses inside. And it was so fun visiting the yarn shop and the soap shop, and now a food shop. So if you have something similar like this, give them your support. They're a local shop, and the one that is in this video is just absolutely fabulous. If you happen to be coming to Cedar Rapids and driving through for the holidays or what have you, stop in, go online to the Nubo Market website. You can Google it and check out when their hours are. And if you're not coming through Cedar Rapids, Iowa, you can always find these places in your area, I'm sure. So without further ado, I just want to say, without further ado, I was gonna say let's go ahead and go to the video, but actually I want to say something about the person that I interviewed. He is so charismatic. He was just the best to have a conversation with, and he was very informative, and this gives you a look into what goes on, and the effort created, and how he wants to, the business, him and the owner are working together to grow this business. He was a very nice person. He answered all my questions, and yeah, it was a great time. So just for the efforts that he put in and the time he took to just speak to some weird stranger who just approached him. You guys, give him the honor of watching this video all the way through. He really is a very fun person to talk to, and he didn't have to do this, but he did, and I appreciate it so, so much. So y'all, check this out without further ado. Hello. So, what's your name?
So my name's Tim. I'm the manager here at the Full Bowl. Been in this role for about a year. I started working part-time for Wes, the guy who opened this place about 5 years ago, just kind of on and off whenever he needed time. And then he started working at the shelter in town, and I just sort of took over running the place for him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you, first off, this place is called the Full Bowl.
Yeah.
And you offer a variety of sides and soups.
Yes.
And rice bowls.
Yeah, so our rice bowls are kind of our main dishes. The No Coast Bowl is our most popular dish by far. And then so that's kind of a black bean dish, like a California style bowl with lemon garlic sauce. It's super popular. And then our chana masala is our other regular. It's an Indian style chickpea dish served over rice.
I had that yesterday.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Yeah, and then we always do new things. So we always have like a weekly special that basically the concept is that rice and beans are a staple cuisine in so many different cultures that we can serve food from all over the world using that concept.
Nice.
Of rice and bean based dishes.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
So are most of your dishes more vegetarian, or do you have meat dishes?
We have a fully vegetarian menu. I believe when we opened, we were the only all vegetarian restaurant in Cedar Rapids, not Iowa, but just about. But since then, it's been nice to see, just even the past 5.5 years, the number of places within this market offering vegetarian options, and all over Cedar Rapids. So it's something, and that doesn't hurt us. It only helps us that more people are becoming accustomed to it and thinking that instead of just searching for meat, they're just finding good food. And
like,
so there's not enough vegans and vegetarians in this town to support us. So we have to be able to appeal to people who also eat meat and are just looking for something good to eat.
Yeah, well, I would say that like different types of legumes and beans, they really sustain and can put that weight in your gut like meat would, basically. And it's delicious. You don't, like when I ate the chana masala yesterday, I didn't miss meat.
Right.
I didn't, like, I wasn't even thinking about meat.
And that's why, like, that a lot of our messaging isn't, we're not trying to be in-your-face vegetarian vegan, because the people who are vegetarian and vegan will find us. They know who we are, and they'll find us. But, it's something that can sort of scare away people who are a bit apprehensive about it. But if they're not thinking about the fact that it's vegetarian, they're just thinking, oh, I like Indian food, so I'll try the chana masala, or or whatever special sounds good, or
right.
So, or if they're looking for healthy options, we try to have healthy options for people to have as well. And so eating out, that can be a challenge.
Yes.
And so yeah.
Absolutely. So how many different varieties of soups do you guys make them homemade? Are they organic?
Yeah, so we try to buy as much as we can organic. There's our bulk stuff. We partner with New Pioneer Co-op, the local co-op in Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Coralville, and so we get like bulk rice and beans through them. So we get big 25-pound bags of rice, and our black beans. We go through a ton of chickpeas, things like that. And so we get those through them. And then they have a ton of organic produce, so our toppings and veggies that we cook into them. We get a lot of stuff through them, and so we're pretty obsessive about cooking from scratch. And there's a few odds and ends that we'll buy, like sauces or whatever for something special, but for the most part we're making everything from scratch. It's more fun that way. It's if it had nothing to do with taste, it gives me more fun as a cook. So
that's awesome. So how long have you guys been around? Was there like an established restaurant?
So this is the first. This is the first and only location. The concept behind Duval City Market is that it's a great place to incubate a business. And so we actually, this is our second location within the market this summer. So we spent 5 years in a stall about 30 yards that way. And it was about 2/3 the size of what we got here. So the hangry lady moved to a larger location over there, and we jumped into her spot. So we played a little musical chairs, but it was nice that we, were able to expand a little bit. And a little spoiled having more room to cook, but yeah, so that we opened up here, and and the future is kind of wide open. We're not under any pressure to leave right away from the market, but we're always thinking about what's next someday. And Wes, the owner, his original idea was a food truck, and so and this concept would be great on a food truck. So
absolutely,
and so that's always in the as an option in the future, as well as like our own brick and mortar someplace. Just, we really like this neighborhood, the Nubo neighborhood in town. It's growing. It's been growing since we've been here, and it's continuing. And so a lot more people working down here and living. So it's just kind of the place to be in Cedar Rapids, and so we definitely want to keep our foot in this neighborhood.
That's great.
And the market's been great. It's just being inside Nubo Market. It's just fantastic.
Right. So expanding is better than moving.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. We're, for the time being, we're not plan on.
You're gonna
here.
stick around
Yeah,
for
we're
a
not planning
while.
on leaving here
That's
anytime
good for me too.
soon.
I
Yeah,
feel like
there
that's
you
good for me. So
Yeah.
so maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but have you always been interested in food and producing food? And the owner also, I don't know how
Yeah,
much he's discussed it with
he's
you.
a foodie. His background isn't culinary. Like, he's a sociologist. You know, he does a little bit of everything. But he's been a vegetarian for a long time, vegetarian, vegan. And he used to live on the West Coast, and he's lived multiple places.
Yeah.
And so moving to Iowa, you know, especially years ago when he moved here, there just weren't a ton of options. I became vegan like at the right time 5 years ago, when just like everybody was starting to accommodate us, whereas he didn't have a lot of options, and so this style of food was, you know, really common in Eugene or Portland, Oregon, where where he was before. Whereas, you know, in Cedar Rapids, there just wasn't as much stuff, and so that was, you know, kind of his motivation was to bring some of this to Cedar Rapids.
That's awesome.
This concept, and you know, and me personally, I actually didn't start getting involved in restaurants until after college, and became a vegan at one point, and so that kind of shifted my focus. And this place, I just always, you know, I liked Wes and I liked what he was doing, so I just kind of helped him out part-time for a few years until, you know, just the opportunity arose for me to take over running it full-time.
And he kept you, and
Yes,
you know, now you're just stuck here eating vegetarian food.
It's all right. I'm happy about it. No, that was always kind of my dream, was to sort of take over.
That's good.
I call it
think
a slow-moving coup.
I think a lot of people are getting more into the vegetarian and vegan. I mean, for myself, I don't know if I could do vegan. But, you know, there's meat substitutes out there also, you know. So,
yeah. I mean, we don't do a lot of those, but I know it's definitely something that, you know, in talking to people, that, you know, it makes it easier. It makes the transition easier. And so, you know, whatever works. You know, the closest we'll come is we do like tofu dishes. There's a local tofu company in Iowa
love
City,
tofu.
Old Capital Tofu, that we really, really love. And so we definitely, so that, you know, we still consider that a rice and bean dish, even though it's, you know, beans in a different form.
It's still good though.
And those are always a hit. Like,
that
local fresh tofu is just, you know, worlds above, you know, anything you can buy off the store shelf. So
that's awesome that you guys locally source and you make like most of your stuff from scratch.
Yeah.
So,
and, you know, and like even like our black beans, we go through a ton of those. They're on our most popular dish. You know, there's a local farmer, you know, Grimm Family Farms, and I just shoot him a message, say, hey, can we get, you know, 6 bags of beans, and he'll come with a big trolley, and, you know, and just, you know, so it's nice to be able to do stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have any menu plans in the future? Are they like secrets or anything you want to incorporate?
I mean, so since we moved into the new space, we haven't really expanded the menu much. I mean, we're pretty much doing the same stuff in the old space. We obviously have a bit more room now. We're working, some of it's kind of slow going because we just got to work on getting equipment. So there's another vendor in here who's getting another refrigerator, and we're going to buy her old one. And so equipment, you know, is just kind of our limit for when we can expand the menu. We're still kind of toying around with different things that we might want to do. You know, whether it's like going the smoothie route or doing some hot sandwiches and things like that.
Ooh, hot sandwiches,
yeah.
like, you know, the classic panini.
Right, yeah. Just, you know, just a little different. So we're still playing around with those things, haven't really decided on anything. But, you know, and I also, you know, want to get into doing more like catering and events and things like that. And so
that's a big job.
Right. but really to, like, you know, increase our capacity to do things like that. Because we've had people ask, you know, I had someone recently ask about a wedding, which, you know, we haven't done one before. And so, like, all right, like, how would we go about doing that? And, you know, what equipment would we need to be able to do, you know, a mobile setup? And so, you know, and so there's, you know, someone who wants us, you know, to help out with a speech competition, you know, and serve food there. So it's, you know, those are also types of things that, you know, maybe before we expand to another location, we, you know, start doing a lot more of those pop-up type things, you know, and figure out a good system for us to be able to do that efficiently.
Yeah, big events. Like,
Yeah.
I would definitely say this isn't the space for preparing for like
Right.
hundreds of people. So,
But fortunately, you know, we have the Instant Pots that are mobile that we cook in. We absolutely love those. You know, we could bring a rice cooker, and you know, we could, you know, still serve a lot of food.
That's
using
true.
a pretty small amount of equipment. It's just, you know, hauling and storage and power and all that other hand washing and all that other stuff that
right.
be
Safe
able to do
food.
efficiently and so.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing this with me.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I
thanks for
appreciate
highlighting
it.
businesses in the market.
It's no problem. I think people should know more about the little places like this and how they're so unique and they really stand out, you know, and it's
Yeah.
a better alternative to like McDonald's or Burger King or,
Yeah.
you know, something like that. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. I got starving while I was interviewing, and I got myself some Kung Pao lentils, and it's got some cilantro on top, and even their containers are 100% compostable. No trees were harmed in the making of this bowl. So let's give this a taste. Kung Pao flavored lentils with rice, and really excited about it. Let's see how it tastes, shall we? So I mixed it up. I don't know if you can see. I got it all mixed up with the rice, and I'm gonna try it. Let's see how this tastes, shall we? It's good. It has just the slightest spice kick, just the slightest. But it's good. It's got carrots and peppers and all kinds of yummy stuff in it. A lot of people like it. So I'm gonna sit here and eat my lunch. I got one more vendor to interview, and then I'll be editing this and probably buying some more yarn and something for my daughter. Anyway, bottoms up, y'all.